Welcome back, everyone, to hour 2 of episode 24 of Handy at the Shandy, a Las Vegas podcast. Along with Boring Jack and Adam the Fraud, I am Table James Games, and this hour is going to be filled with listener questions and feedback. We got a ton again. Thank you all so much for sending in the emails, handyatheshandy@gmail.com, or reaching out to us on the Twitter. However you want to get us this information, maybe through a letter from the Nevada Health Association or whatever.
Or your local HOA.
Yeah, whatever you want.
I would like to warn people that you're hearing this on a Monday if you are one of our most rapid listeners, and we will be recording again in 2 days on Wednesday. And so get your questions in quick.
I also love there are many great questions here. All these I'm seeing for the first time because no one's asking me questions, which is a wonderful streak that's been happening for now 24 episodes. And I would like that to keep going.
Please, everyone, send your questions and complaints to Adam Bauer. Mm-hmm. Would be great. Well, the first one we got on Twitter at
Asians, yes or no?
From at Low and Slow. Last week, you said you didn't want to be making a $6 place bet because it's such a small bet that it's not fun. So what is the smallest bet you guys would be able to make and still enjoy it?
Now let me start, Megan. Let me start. Because there's going to be people who this is the first episode they listen to.
Yes.
The first part of the episode they listen to. And what I said at the top of this is really going to come out of left field. So please go back to part 1 if this is at the top of your feed. But please continue. Low and Slow, it's a great question.
Yes. I will say the last episode that dropped a couple weeks ago, I said I might want to start playing across at a $5 craps table, but I don't know if I could place the 6 and 8 for $6 to win $7. Like, would that get the juices flowing? Maybe that came off as, oh man, but no, like you should.
Everyone has a level right? At which, if they were betting that amount, it wouldn't move the needle for them, right?
Yeah, and so I replied a little bit on X to Low and Slow, and I said, kind of, tongue in cheek, it's not the size of the bet that matters, it's the, how you, what the outcome is. It's the motion dice. Because like there are many bets that I will place for, a single dollar, let's say. Like I can play the all tall small dollar if it's, 150 to 1. Or I can buy Mega Millions for $1. But I guess maybe the question might be better asked of like close to a 1-to-1 type.
Yeah, well, what sort of payouts? Well, or what does
right.
the payout need to be before you find the bet to be exciting?
Yeah. I think right now I can still play $15 blackjack and feel like this is a good amount, or even Paigo or Baccarat if you were ever to find something like that. Like I'm comfortable with that. If I'm at $10, it starts to be where I'm not as engaged. I think that's kind of the level I'm at right now. And then with video poker, as we've been talking about a lot on this podcast, I'm in that 25-cent Ultimate X up to $1 3-line non-Ultimate X.
Yeah, certainly. I'm thinking about just kind of like if you were going to play for a little while, what's the worst that can happen on a given session? And like if on the session, it's not really possible for you to lose or win more than like $200. It doesn't feel like real money is changing hands, which is kind of weird because if you had like $150 winning session after an hour, you should feel pretty good about that. You can still buy a lot for $150 in today's economy. But the downside isn't true, whereas it's like if I lose $150 in that hour, that doesn't hurt enough for the gambling to be worth it. So
yeah, my response is me essentially breaking all the rules that I have of gambling when I started doing Vegas content, in that it depends on where I play. For instance, if I had a group of people, we all wanted to go downtown, which I think is what's going to happen in August when I'm there. For me, it's just like that's the buy-in to be in the game and enjoy it. So I could place a $6 bet and have fun because I'm in the atmosphere. I'm in the moment with friends. We're having fun. Like that's just the cost of being in the game and enjoying everything and the revelry that goes along with that. And I certainly do like making like the bonus bets because of that exponential payout. That's fun when you have the higher payouts, but I can still enjoy the small bets. The problem is because I'm so anchored now with certain places, say like MGM, Rewards, Palazzo, I can't find myself betting less than $25 or going lower in denom on video poker because of where my comps are at. Now that's completely stupid. and antithetical to what my whole like
shtick
vibe has been. My whole shtick for the last 10, 12, 14 years has been like, don't worry about that. Just go and enjoy yourself. But I find that I can't now, because I can't enjoy myself playing less because I'm worried about my comps, which is stupid. And you shouldn't be me and you shouldn't act like this. But that's just kind of where I'm at now. Like, I like the offers that I'm getting. I like the balance that I've struck in terms of my bankroll, how I'm approaching each session. Could I theoretically gamble less and have fun? 100% I can. But I will also at the time be thinking like, crap, my comps are going to go down if I'm doing this. So that's just, it's where I'm at, and it's stupid, and don't be like this. But I think a lot of people fall into that trap.
You do enjoy playing at a quarter craps table.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
not
100%.
like you're doing it for the comps.
Yeah, I'm not gambling scared. 100, like not at all. And there's times where I'm just like, I don't feel like playing it right now. I don't want to have the swings. Like $25, can I handle it? Can my bankroll handle it? Of course it can. But I just mentally, I'm not there. Like, I don't want to play craps at this level and have a quick losing session. Like, that won't be a fun way to end the night. So I'm going to go do something else or just not gamble at all.
For slot machines, I think we might have a question on slots later. I can play the bare minimum, 50 cents, 66 cents. If I'm deciding like, hey, I'm going to play some slots, if I'm playing with a couple people, I don't need to bump that up. It might also just be there's that possibility. Like, if it was like, hey, you can only win maximum 3 to 4x your bet, then of course I probably wouldn't be sitting there hitting a button for 66 cents. But I know I'm not going to hit the grand, right? At let's say Dragon Link at 50 cents. Like, I know I'm not going to do that, but you could.
You might, yeah.
But
might. Even like what we're saying earlier, like playing 88 cents and winning a bonus and getting like $150, how good that feels compared to like playing at a $25 minimum craps table and winning $150 there.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come close to the $150 in the slot machine, which is stupid. But like, that's just how it is.
That's the psychology.
Save it for the slot question coming up.
Okay.
All right.
But kind of on the topic of gambling amounts, we got a question from Vinny Chens at 7 Out Pod, who asks, what is each of your biggest wins in your gambling history? And did you treat yourself to something with it, pay bills, or lose it all back gambling?
This is Vinny's chance to flex on us publicly, because he's had some behemoth wins in his gambling career for sure.
And he's probably done a mix of all three, certainly.
Yes.
that would be my guess.
I will say that my biggest win, and it's not even close, was hitting a royal flush on a 10 times multiplier at Resorts World for $10,000. But the circumstances surrounding it were pretty interesting as well, in that this trip I made to Vegas was a like 9-day trip. It's like the longest I've ever done. And the reason why I did it was because Adam was doing a thing on one weekend. So this is when I met up with you and Katie at Juniper at Park MGM that one time in September 2022, I think. And then Crap Vegas was there at the Wynn, back when they were still Wynn fanboys, the following weekend. I was like, I want to go to both of these. And so I'm just going to stay in Vegas the whole week and like work half days remotely during the day. So like get up early, start working at like 6 or 7 in the morning, but then be done by like noon. So anyways, it was a long trip for me. I got to the point where I was down like $5,000 after having played for like 7 or 8 days. I took the last of what I was willing to lose on that trip to the Wynn to play with the Crap Vegas guys that morning of my last full day in town. And it was a $50 table. And I had like a winning session where I won like a good $1,000. And I was like, okay, well now I'm only down like 4,000. And you know, if it had gone the other way and I was down after playing that craps, I was down 6 or 7, I just wouldn't have gambled on that last day. I was just like, if this is a loser, I'm kind of done. But I did win, and I was like, okay, I've earned myself another Ultimate X session at the Resorts World Center Bar. And so I was drinking an espresso martini, I was playing my Ultimate X, and I got dealt 3 to the Royal with an extra diamond to make it 4 to a flush. And I was like, I know you're supposed to keep 4 to a flush, but when you have 2 10x multipliers, I think this might be one of the spots that you do keep only the 3. And it turns out I was right for like a very particular reason. And so I kind of got lucky that I was right, but it turns out I was right to only hold the 3 to the Royal. And then I had the Queen Jack 10 of diamonds. The very first card that comes off the deck was the King of diamonds. And then I blanked it. And remember, I'm on 10x, nothing. And so I want to get the royal if I get on one of these first two lines. And so I go King of diamonds, nothing. And as my brain is registering that I was just one card away from $10,000, and I'm like, oh, fuck. The very next card to come on the next line is the King of diamonds, and it follows it with the Ace of diamonds.
That's awesome.
For the royal.
And you hear that's awesome.
Yeah, and that was having made a conscious decision to throw away the 4 flush as well. And it brought me from, at this point, I had lost back down from 4,000 down to closer to -5 again on the trip, right through over the course of this video poker session. And so I basically just turned the trip from a $5,000 loser into a $5,000 winner. And so to answer Vinny Chenz's question, no, the answer is I lost it all back gambling, but not on that trip. On that trip, it was the exact opposite, where it was the big win that punctuated my long trip to Vegas, and I went home with most of that money, which I then at a later point brought back to Vegas and lost it. But
yeah. What about for poker? What's the biggest payout when you were playing poker?
Oh, I mean, the biggest, I haven't had that bet-wise when I was playing like 6-12 limit hold'em. I remember I won over $1,000 in a session, which is like profiting over 5 racks of $2 chips, which is actually kind of crazy at that game when you're only betting 3 to 6 chips on any given bet. So that's kind of the biggest poker win I've had in terms of bets. The best I did, 13th place, was under 10 grand for the 13th place I got in the event a couple of years ago. So I haven't had anything quite that big on the poker side, and the poker buy-ins are a lot bigger in some ways.
Yeah.
Well, mine's much smaller. Mine's were not in the casino. Mine's were sports bets here in Illinois. So I think a couple in the $2,200 to $2,500 range, and they were when the Florida Panthers recently won their first Stanley Cup. I was on them pretty early, and that was kind of the biggest one, and that paid for part of our Disney trip. That's where that went. So Mickey got that.
Returning it back to the Florida economy.
Yeah, as he always does. But nothing, I mean, I think each of us had like multi-$1,000 days where we're looking at just great days in Las Vegas. But in terms of single bets, mine's probably the smallest out of the 3.
I think even a session, though, counts, like a big winning session or yeah.
Yeah. I've had a couple sessions where it's been between 1,000 to 2,000.
We got to get you a royal flush.
Yeah.
My biggest would be a $4,000 royal, which I've hit a couple of them this year, which has been great. Now, being up $11,000 after 12 days in Vegas, that was just ridiculous. But that was not like, there was not a single day where it's not like I won 20,000 on a single bet and then like lost 10,000 the rest of the time. Like it was $2,000 to $3,000 wins like 5 times, which was nuts. That would be the biggest, is hitting the $4,000 royal or the 4 aces with the kicker that got me up to 4,000. I have not won 5 or higher, which I can't wait to do that this week. That's my goal.
Ooh.
No, I'll probably get wrecked this week. Let's be honest. I did. No, you were talking about sports betting. I was on some Facebook options, like. This would have been 2016.
I thought you were talking about like Facebook Marketplace. I was like, I know they sold options. But
if we're doing that, then I've got some big ones. Yeah.
Well, no, it was so dumb. I was just like messing around and hit like something big for like $9,000 like overnight. Like, it went up by like 20-25% or something. And I cashed that out, and that was used for the first down payment of a house. So
I like how you don't even really understand what you put your money
towards.
No.
I mean, I understand options, but like brilliant. It's gambling to me.
Yeah.
I have students all the time that are like, oh, XYZ stock market. I'm like, I am gambling. Anytime I buy anything or do anything in the stock market, it is pure gambling. I have my retirement account that's just sitting in the S&P. Anything else, there's no way I'm going to convince myself that I'm smarter than.
I've got a really good podcast to recommend you about that. I just got to hook up with a taxi driver and see if I can get the name of it.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinny.
He's doing Forex. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Vin.
Terry Douglas writes in, 4th of July weekend in Vegas, yay or nay? If yay, best places to watch fireworks on the Strip. And James, I think you're the only one of the 3 of us who's done 4th of July in Las Vegas.
I went out there once for 4th of July. And it was good. It was fine. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't super excited about going. I think it just ended up being a weekend that we were free when I was living out in California. We watched the fireworks just like standing on the strip. I don't remember the specifics of like exactly where we were, but we were just outside. So I didn't, this was before I
It
had.
clearly resonated with them.
Yeah, clearly. This was a while ago. This is probably, 12, 15 years ago. I would not have had any sort of status to like go to any sort of party or like even think about like, oh, maybe I should go to this bar that's on a rooftop or anything like that. So I don't know what like would be the best places to watch for fireworks. I will always be on the side of, yes, you should go to Vegas for this event. Like I'm going to be like, oh, for Christmas, sure. Thanksgiving, sure.
World of
Ramadan,
concrete,
sure. Whatever you want to do. So yes, go for New Year's, go for Halloween, go for F1, go for the Super Bowl. Hell yeah.
This is great. I'm the big nay on this one. You say yay or nay. I say I want to go to Vegas on the weekends where it's cheap to fly out there, it's cheaper to get a room, and there's fewer people. Because Vegas with fewer people is still very crowded, as we've learned through the whole like Vegas is dead myth and that kind of stuff. I don't need to go there on some of the busiest holiday weekends where everyone is going to try to get out to Vegas that weekend. I don't need to go out there to F1, even though my friends drag me out for one of the more difficult weekends to do anything in Vegas. Yeah.
And I am completely empathetic to, well, not America, but, this entire debate. So, James or Jack, pick your poison on that one.
Adam's going to be staying at home, just standing there saluting the flag.
That's right. Well, that's
James
what I always do.
In Vegas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone's got to do it.
Well, Kim and I like to have what we call Tierney Fest the Saturday after the 4th of July. So what we've done many a times is we will go and the day after 4th of July, go to Walmart and buy all of the decorations that are like 14 cents. And then we'll have a USA themed party the Saturday after the 4th of July. But now the 4th of July is on a Saturday. So maybe we'll do it the weekend after.
They're all made in China too.
It is. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Terry. Matt Devine from at SIGuru21 on Twitter said, free play, ... How do you like to use it? Slots, tables, or video poker? Do you play at your usual denomination, try to stretch it out, or use it as an excuse to make larger wagers than you normally would? Jack, how do you use your free play?
I use it generally to just play the games I was going to play anyways. And I don't actually understand it. When like some people will be primarily slots players. They prefer to play slot machines. But when they get free play, they're like, oh, I want to load that into a video poker machine first, because video poker machines have the highest return to player and much lower variance often than slot machines. And so I can maximize my free play to cash conversion ratio by playing it through video poker.
I've never heard a slot player use those words in that order before.
Well, probably not. They don't always have a few brain cells to rub together, but
oh gosh,
very often you'll hear
coming
that.
God, Asians and slot players are going to be in our inbox.
I think very often people will be cognizant of that, and they will be trying to use their free play where it can get the highest conversion. And then once they've converted it to cash, they go then play that cash on the gambling game that they wanted to play anyways, which just strikes me as, very counterproductive. But so that's why I always just play it on the games I want to play. One caveat to that, though, is that like MGM, rather, some of the more modern free play systems just load the money into your balance on the machine. And yeah, maybe you can't just straight up cash it out from there. You do still have to play it through, and it's kind of marked in the background as having needed to be played through. But some of the older systems like MGM uses, at least at Chandelier Bar, every bet you make has to then be refunded from your free play pool. And at the time it refunds it, it slows the machine down and makes like a little doong doogie doong noise.
Yeah.
I hate it. If I'm trying to play through like $250 in free play at my normal $7.50 a push, it is like moving through molasses. And so I will often, just for the purpose of my free play, bump up to like 50 cent denom and play $15 a push. And at the Chandelier Bar, that has the benefit of being better pay tables at Ultimate X at 50 cents, is you can get significantly lower house edge on those. And so I use that as my one $250 shot at playing a higher denom but lower house edge game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did for the birthday trip, and I won, which is what kept me at the 50-cent level. Which
I'll just do this for the rest of my life, says James. Yeah,
pretty much. I'll just use it wherever I am. I view it as this is now an extra 300, 400, whatever it is. This is just an extra part of my bankroll. So I will use it right away. Like I'm not, I know some people are like, oh, I wait till the end to use it or this. Like I don't want to forget it.
Sad. Well, like if I ever get sad, I'm like, man, I lost that really quickly. That was a real bummer. I'm like, but I could just
3 hours into the trip.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Use it more on the psychological side.
It's a confidence booster. Yeah,
yeah. I do know people that are like, okay, I've got this $300. I'm going to go do $25 a press on Huff and Puff, and I want to try and hit a big thing. Which cool.
Yeah, I do a mix. So I'll do my standard bets, or sometimes maybe raise the stakes a bit in video poker. But I will use it to play some slots that maybe I otherwise wouldn't. I usually don't use it to like try a new slot, but like Huff and Puff, Mo Money, something I'm familiar with or I've seen on Vegas Matt or any of those other channels. Like, I'm going to go and potentially play some slots too because I just enjoy it.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, next up, we've got a question from Josh and Rachel. If you weren't likely to be back in Vegas for a while, upwards of a year, would you build your trip around doing past favorites, focus on new things, or a mixture? I think it's got to be a mixture. The question is just which way are we leaning this mixture? Because I don't think there's really any good answer other than saying like, yeah, try to do both. But I would lean more towards focusing on new things for like as much of the trip as I can, and then leave a day or day and a half on the back end of the trip to play the hits, like I've said. So I think part of the fun and the anticipation of waiting a year to get back to Vegas is knowing that there's a bunch of new stuff, kind of like we talked about in hour one with the way that you watch progress go more slowly if you go to Vegas more often. Here it's like, oh, there'd be so much stuff that's going to have changed a lot over the last year. I would like to have a detailed itinerary of how I'm going to do all these things that are new to me, knowing that if the itinerary gets in the way of me doing exactly what I want to do, that will be abated by the end of the trip.
You see, I think that if I wasn't going for an entire year, I would probably spend the vast majority of doing the things that I like, because I would be afraid that I would try these new things and it would suck. And now I'm like, great, I could have been sitting at the Chandelier Bar or doing this or doing that. So I don't think I would check out many new things, which maybe that makes me a boring person. I don't know.
Well, considering this podcast, the rundowns of trip reports are just like hopping between Chandelier Bar, the High Limit Bar, Palazzo. Like, I mean, we're saying one thing, but what do we really mean here?
Yeah,
I do some new stuff.
You do, yeah. You did some restaurants and stuff, but like, let's be honest. Like, we play the hits. You know, we know what the people like. We know what we like, and that's what we do. But I will say, I think a mixture is a good idea. There's this kind of saying that like, go do your favorite thing because you don't know how long things are going to stick around in Vegas. But to me, like quality things do tend to stick around. Like, yeah, there's certain things that, casinos try and they don't stick around very long. Like if you wanted to go to the esports center in downtown Grand, it lasted like 3 months. So yeah, you really had to get in there. But a lot of things like really good restaurants,
it depends on for whom the quality is. If the quality is for the player, it might not stick around very much.
Fair. But knowing Josh and Rachel and how they like to dine, they go to quality places. Like those will stick around. I think for them, a mixture is probably best. But I think they were just asking in general for other people as well. But like I said, good things tend to stick around. I would do a mixture. Pick one or two of your favorites from the past, and go back to the Vegas that you love. But try some new things out. That being said, you can find us at the Chandelier Bar every time we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be at the Chandelier Bar. I'll be at the Shandy this trip at all. I will be at some point.
Yeah, or Palazzo High Limit. Like it'll be one of the two.
Bar Luca,
baby.
Bar Luca now. Yeah, we find one new thing.
I don't know. I don't want ghost energy, so
they might rustle around in the back for you. Let them know that you know me, and
I'm going to tell Philip to get me some.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a couple pieces of feedback that I think are related, so we're going to bunch them together. First comes from Scott Maxwell. He says 50% of the enjoyment of a Vegas vacation is the anticipation beforehand. Or is he quoting us? Is he quoting someone?
He's quoting someone. He didn't tell me who. So
okay, I'm going to take it as us because I think he likes it.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to take it. It was me who said it.
We could have.
Scott goes on to say, I heartily agree and try to always have a few Vegas trips on the books. Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. I've like mentally prepared trips like a year in advance just to have that. But anyway, that relates really well to Richard's feedback. Richard Andrade, he says, over the next 7 months, I have trips to Chicago, the Azores, London, and the last trip all the way out in October to Vegas. I made the mistake of checking the countdown to the Vegas trip. And now, despite all these great trips coming up beforehand, that is the trip I'm most anticipatory of. And I wondered why. Obviously, the primary reason for people like us who have many, many Vegas trips under our belt is that we already know we're going to have a great time. The large sample size on our ongoing Vegas experiment rarely, if ever, yields a true clunker. That's a really great paragraph, right? That could be like a preface to something. I'm just editorializing now. That was really easy to...
People of our podcast, people are always saying it rarely yields a true clunker.
Like
we get feedback like that a lot.
That's a sentence. That was this is my first time reading it and looking at it. That was very easy to read too. Thank you, Richard. But he goes on to say, but I think another big reason is that Vegas is often our most frictionless vacation experience. Oh, he's got to work in marketing or some sort of...
He's the guy that sells like this is the law books guy at Law Books on Twitter.
Definitely.
He sells barrister books or something.
Yes. Yeah. I can stress in advance what my hotel in Chicago is going to be like, how I'm going to navigate Portuguese in the Azores, or how I'm going to figure out the tube in London. But I never stress Vegas, at least in any true anxiety-producing manner. And this fact, like an interest-bearing savings account, just compounds the effect of the endorphins released when your thoughts turn to that upcoming trip, no matter how far away. Golf clap for this well-constructed piece of feedback, both Scott and Richard. But what do you make of both their...
Yeah, very often, like, if we get feedback that isn't super actionable, it doesn't really ask a question, or it's just kind of relating to something we already said, I won't include it. But I did include that because I thought it was so well written. And I thought the point about the frictionless is really important to me because, like, I could travel to a lot of places, and I always go to Vegas. And it's like, part of it is, the gambling. We get it. But like part of it is just that it's so easy, right? Like I know where everything is. I know what I'm going to do. I know that it's not going to be super expensive. And it's a known quantity. And so that frictionless aspect, I thought that was a really good point.
Well, and you could see where you're supposed to, like right when you land and get out of the airport, like you can see your hotel very literally in most senses, right? Where sometimes you're going to a place, it's like, I don't want to travel 2-3 hours to, get to Tulum and go to this resort. Like, I just want to be at the hotel right now. Whereas Vegas, it's like, it's right there. I can put my bags down and be on the casino floor. You could walk there if you were a lunatic. Yes, you could do that.
I like going to Vegas for this exact reason. And it's why I don't do a lot of other travel, is that I don't want my vacation or my travel to be stressful. And we'll do every other year or so, we'll do a bigger trip. But our last couple trips have been very organized it's a cruise. So like, they're like dropping you off here and saying, go do that thing. So Vegas is just, I show up and in my mind right now, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get off the plane. I'm going to walk here. I'm going to get this cab. I'm going to do that. I already know what's going on. So I don't have that stress. I think this is yes, it's well written, but I think the idea really hits it on the head too.
Yeah, but even going on a cruise, like I'm going on another one in a few weeks. Like it's still stressful. Like you've got to get in the day before. You've got to make sure your transportation's there. Like you got to drop off bags. They all got to be tagged. You got to take a bus, get to the port, check in at the port. It's like it's a hassle, even though it is a fairly like narrow experience, right? You know exactly. It's like just going in one line, until you get there. But it's a ton of steps to get through, and you're kind of worried, like, oh, my bags aren't here yet, because like you just kind of are leaving things to chance that everything's going to be taken care of, and it usually is. But yeah, there's very little friction, as Richard said, when it comes to Vegas.
Matt from OkCupid or Oklahoma City, I don't know, but it's Matt from OKC. It might be OkCupid. Hello, everyone. Shows continue to be awesome. I know why you included this, Jack. Please add a PayPal donation for karma gifts.
Well, I did include this just specifically to say that we will not be doing that, and that the Patreon is already enough. We're not soliciting any money beyond that. And thank you for your imagined support.
Well, maybe in the future, because you already went back on Patreon not getting thank yous, and we do that. So who knows? But if you're looking to do a PayPal donation for karma gifts,
yes, there's other good podcasts.
Yeah, there's other good podcasts that do that. Or just like throw a couple of hard ways out there for us, and then when you parlay it 3-4 times and it's a couple grand, then you can send it in.
Oh yeah, tell us the amount you're thinking of. If it's high enough, I'll give you my PayPal.
He goes on. Anyway, I wanted to ask a question. What is the ideal arrival time to start your Vegas trip? I have 2 trips coming up. Congratulations. One in June and July. For June, I arrive in Vegas at 6:30 a.m. Vegas time.
Ooh.
July, I arrive at 8:30 p.m. Vegas time. What is the ideal arrival time for you guys? How much does your arrival impact your plans for what to get started with? Do you have a strategy, or is it just flight, cost, /availability, etc.? Thanks.
I mean, for me, it's like late morning is like ideal for me to get in Vegas. If it's too early, it like ruins the whole day for me. Like I don't feel well. That means I've woken up way too early, my time, and it's just not fun for me. I go back and forth though, because I do sometimes like the evening, like 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock landing. You're getting in at night. I don't know, the vibe is just like hits really well. But for the first time ever, I'm like in August, I'm getting in at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, which I haven't done before. But I do think, to Matt's actual question, it does impact that first day of the trip and subsequently the next couple days quite a bit at times in terms of like what you want to accomplish, what kind of limits you have in terms of, hitting those old favorites or doing something new and exciting.
Yeah, I haven't even decided in my head how long the day that I arrive needs to be before I consider it to be like a full day that I arrived on, or just a night where I get in late and it doesn't really even count. And because in my head, those are the only 2 options. It's either like, yes, this is one of your days in Vegas, or it isn't. And so I don't know where that is, but I think I've gotten a lot better in recent years at being able to arrive at more interesting or different times. I think that if I was arriving early, let's say before noon at any point, if I didn't think I'd be able to check into my room, I'd be pretty disappointed, because I know if I'm getting in that early, I'm going to want like a nap, and I'm going to want to be able to check my bags and take a shower and all that kind of stuff. Just so like, I don't want to land in Vegas at 10 and feel like I've just been on an airplane for the next 6 hours before hotel check-in. Right? And so that would be the main thing for me, is if I'm getting in that early, I want it to be on a very slow weekend where I believe that I can sweet talk the front desk into giving me a room.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My ideal time to get in is probably 6, 7 p.m.
I think I agree.
I don't get in at that time often, just coming from the East Coast and the flights that are available for me through our small airport. It's usually either like noon or like 10 p.m. Those are kind of the most common times that I get in. But I think getting in around dinner time, where I know my hotel is ready, I can then go take a shower, get dressed, go get dinner, and have a few hours, 3-4 hours of gaming, and then get a decent night's sleep. I think that is ideal, even though I don't do it that often. Tomorrow, I land at 9:40. So by the time I get over to Palazzo, 10:30, 11, I'm going to be up, from the East Coast the whole day. I'm going to go and start having some drinks and party. Well, by party, I mean play video poker at Bar Luca for sure. So shocking. But like, if I do get one of those flights where I'm up really early and I'm out the door East Coast 6 a.m. and I'm landing at noon or 1, I think it changes a little bit, because I will take that nap and feel way more comfortable staying up 1, 2 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, I like getting there and knowing that I have like at least a half day ahead of me at times. So that's why I tend to go kind of back and forth on it. But yeah, I think, Jack, your point, like if I think the room's going to be ready, that's a huge upside to that.
Although for my birthday trip, we got in at like 11:30 and then just went straight to bed. And that wasn't too bad. But like it was tough. It is so tough to get to Vegas and not gamble that first night, at least for me. I know other people have way easier times just being like, well, I'm going to go to bed so that way tomorrow. I'd be the person who ate one marshmallow today and did not wait till tomorrow to have 2 marshmallows.
What's that? That's an experiment? It's a kid experiment?
Yeah,
Come on.
The
It's like a famous one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot it was with marshmallows, to be honest. But
I thought it was cookies.
yeah, I would have said cookies as well.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Someone fact check us.
They were
See,
s'mores cookies, I think.
look at us. We're the economists now.
Yeah.
That was a psychology thing, so don't tell Kim.
Next up, we've got feedback from Paul Sheridan, who says he's heard us say a couple of times, and on our most recent episode that a listener wrote in, that downtown isn't offering a good gambling value. He says, while I respect the opinion and freely admit that downtown isn't for everyone, I've found great value downtown at my level of gamble. And I've abridged some of the examples he gives here. But he says examples, the Derek Stevens properties have plenty of 99% video poker at dollars and higher denoms, and even a little bit at quarters and 50 cents as well, if you know where to look. And all the blackjack at their properties is all 3-2 blackjack. And you can very often find $15 limits at the D, usually 25 at Circa. And he says, and the D has 10 times odds on craps. And then talking about the Four Queens Binions family, they have plentiful 25 cent 99% return video poker. And they run regular promotions that can bring it up to even when you consider the Players Club and the promotion. Plaza also has plenty of 25 cent 99% return video poker. Plus, they have single zero roulette, 3-2 blackjack, and you can even find $5 bubble craps with 3, 4, 5 odds. So, it goes on to he does go on to say some stuff regarding the Players Club at the D and Circa programs and how he's able to use that pretty effectively while playing video poker. But I think my response to what Paul's saying here is that my issue is I am a single issue voter. And yes, they have good video poker that you can find, but they don't have good Ultimate X. And if they do, they don't have it at their bars. And so it's just like, I need it to be a little more particular than that. And part of it is the trends we're responding to. Like you say, yeah, there's some good quarter video poker at the Derek Stevens properties. There used to be more of it. You used to be able to find 8-6 bonus deluxe at all denoms at all their bars. And now you can only find it at dollars and above. And it's just like, come on, man. Like you were hanging on by a thread in my estimation of you anyways. For me, and I've talked about the 10 times odds on craps thing before too. It's like, that is really nice, but if you can't take advantage of it because it's a $15 table, it almost doesn't really matter what the odds are. Same for like Main Street Station, and they're 20 times, that kind of stuff. It doesn't really move the needle for me. And so part of my disdain for downtown comes from two things. It's like, A, I know exactly what I want to play, and if it is as good or worse than what's on the strip, I'm going to be disappointed. And B, I'm just disappointed seeing the way things have trended at a lot of these properties lately, downtown Grand, Circa, the D, etc. Even Plaza, my favorite place to play their 99% or better video poker, got turned into like a biker bar. And so it's like, and they moved the machines off into like a sad corner of that bar that used to be at the bar top. So it's like, come on.
Yeah, I always say the good things don't stick around that often. So always go frequently when you can.
Yeah. I'll be staying downtown at the beginning of July. Oh, I guess I technically will be in Vegas for 4th of July this year, although our flight is leaving that morning. So it's not like really staying there for 4th of July. But I'll be downtown, so I have to check out some of the stuff. I will report back of all the video poker I play, which I'm probably playing at the dollar denom anyway if it's single line. So I'll be able to get some decent VP.
Yeah, and Paul's point's well taken too. I mean, Jack, you freely admitted that sometimes we get a bit of tunnel vision just as individual gamblers, right? And I think in his first paragraph here, he talks about how, for the right person, downtown is still a really, really good value. And that's for sure true. And I think his examples here kind of encapsulate the fact that, if you're this type of person, which I think a lot of our listeners are, in a very small area, you're going to find some really good value for your gambling dollar. In terms of, if you got to jump around the strip, that can take quite a bit to find some of things that are of similar value. But if you are this type of person that likes these limits, these odds, and yeah, you can jump around pretty quickly these properties and find a good place to sit. So I'm glad Paul provided some good examples here.
And I do like downtown. I just I have to go outside my comfort zone to find good value, and not comfort zone as in like something that would make me anxious to play it, but it's just I'm not playing my favorite games to play if I'm getting a good value downtown.
Mm-hmm. But you even told me like one of your favorite spots is View Bar with the shared progressive machines, and that can be really fun for groups. So for sure. Yeah, there's definitely great spots. So thank you, Paul. Then finally, Tom Newell said, I know you don't play slots, but that's not relevant. Having no other gaming options, which slots would you play and at what amount? So erase all your plans, but you've still got your bankroll. I think that's what we're getting at here. What games are you playing? And I think, Jack, you're the most prolific Vegas Matt watcher among us.
Love Vegas Matt.
I will watch some other slot channels. But what game are you going with?
I think one thing that I really need to see in slot machines, and this is not going to come as a surprise to anyone, and they talk about this on the Vegas Matt channel a bit, is what slots seem like they are random versus not random. And those are the words they use. The way I like to think about it is which slots does it feel like the reels, even though they're video reels, but each individual column spins independently of the others. It doesn't feel fun to play a game where you get 3 good symbols on the first 3 reels, and you know that means you're less likely to see that good symbol on the 4th reel than you would have been on any other random spin. And you can kind of just tell as a player when the games, I don't know, you can tell when they don't feel like any outcome you see could have happened just as easily on any other spin, right? And so I think some games that do this really well are some of the aristocrat games that are like the Lightning Link, Dragon Link, and Buffalo. I think very often the way their reel sets work make it seem that it's more like a video poker thing where there's a predetermined number of things that can happen. And you're just hoping they come out in the right order. And so I think for me, I really like those type of games. As to what denom I'd play it at, unlike James, I don't think I could get fun out of playing a slot for like less than $1. I think I'd be in the like 150 to 225 range would be where my preferred bets would be on a slot machine. It's enough that you can get wrecked pretty quickly for hundreds of dollars, but also if you do hit like 100x or 200x bonus, it'd be like a pretty sizable chunk of money. So,
yeah, I think I'm probably in around the $3 to $6 range, only because I can be okay playing in some maybe shorter sessions. But I do get a little bit bored with slot machines at times. That's why I think I need the shorter sessions. I think I would probably just do like a bonus hunting strategy. But to me, it's like, what are the ones with the really fun bonus features? Like Hot Pots just goes right to the top because you can when you hit that bonus, it feels like it takes an hour, which is great. I mean, it's not great for comps because you're not running any money through the machine, but that's just a fun one. But I've sort of started to lean more into like the ones that kind of have the quirky theming. I don't like Buffalo for some reason. I just feel like Buffalo it's not true, but it just feels like it's a hit or miss game.
Oh, I think it's pretty high variance as far as slot machines go.
And I don't know if I could handle it. Like it just, and I don't know if I could quit it early enough, if that makes sense. You know, like it just
you can hit it, but you're not sure if you can quit it.
I don't know if I could quit it. I mean, yeah, we'll leave that in. But there's some fun, like Mo Money. I think I brought up before. Like I like the
mummy themed game, right?
Mo Mummy.
Yeah, that's what I keep meaning to say. Yes, I used to like the piggies, but I just can't. I want to hit it and quit it, but you can't quit and hit it with these big piggies.
And you get one more blue without the yellow, and you're just going to
That's exactly it. Yes. Yeah. I like watching people play Ritual of Piggies. I cannot do it anymore because of how frustrating it can be. Yeah. It's like being 14 and playing like Halo again, where it's just like wanting to pound the desk type thing, like that frustrated. Yeah. But yeah, like the Mo Mummy, the Hot Pots. There's a new it's newer, like the werewolf one, which kind of almost is like a comic book art style to it.
See that briefly,
which I kind of like. I like the art variant style to it. So I've been drawn to that one. I've played it a few times. It seems like the bonuses come up fairly frequently in a very small sample size that I had. But yeah, those are the ones that I enjoy.
I've been playing a lot of Voodoo Jackpots lately.
Oh, I've seen that one.
No,
I think I get confused with the bonus structure on that one. Like I didn't fully learn it.
Well, there's like 2 different free games, and I'm not an AP slot, so don't come at me for this. But if one of them is at 15 or higher, or it's like 25 or higher total, I'm just going to play it. And I don't know if that means that it's any better or any worse or whatnot. But the thing is with that game is it's really only fun if you hit a bonus.
Oh, weird.
And a lot of times if I'm playing the lower denom, yes, I'm playing 66 cents, but I'm just hitting the button as fast as I can until I can get.
You're one of those. No, stop it.
So yes, I'm comfortable playing at these lower denoms, but it's because I'm still going through $6 or $7
How do
every
you
10
feel
seconds.
about these buy a bonus games?
I've never played one.
Okay.
I like them, and I'll leave it at that. No, I mean, to me, like it satisfies that need of like, that's like the ultimate gamble, right? Because you just want to cut to the chase. But I also just really like seeing the different bonuses on different machines. I guess maybe I like it more when I see other people do it. That's fun for me.
Watching other people buy bonuses.
Yeah, but I think I don't play those machines that often. I don't think I've ever bought a bonus before, but I'm definitely inclined to do it. So
I was worried that if that kind of took off, it was going to become the norm where more machines than not offered it. And it seems like that hasn't really caught on. And very, very few machines in Vegas offer the ability to just pay an oversized amount and go straight into the bonus. So,
Well, cool. Thanks, Tom. And last but definitely not least, I can't believe I'm doing this. We're going to be thanking our new Patreon patrons. Now, remember, you can go to patreon.com/handyattheshandy and sign up. And even though you don't get anything, according to Jack, we are still thanking you at the end of the episode. So we have 3 new Patreon patrons this week. We've got Zora2, Rex Oliver, who I met at Zorkfest and had a great time playing Bach and craps with, and Sean Wilson at ATX Vegas Fan on
Don't
X.
know who that is.
Who's that guy? No, Sean is such a huge supporter, and I was very lucky to get to meet him a couple times in Vegas and play with him as well. So thank you. I just am over the moon. I can't believe how many people have signed up this first kind of 3 episodes. We keep getting new people. That's super awesome. It helps us pay for all the hosting and make sure that Jack's
my buddy
cat
Quick Quads Josh was saying that I should be putting, like, if I go to the brewery to edit the podcast, I should be putting those beers on the company credit card. So I'm coming up with new ways to try to embezzle the funds.
Well, we may be sued by a large population of the earth or whatever if they have a defamation league.
There's going to be damages. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time. That was not in jest. It was sincere, but maybe racist. I'm not sure, but we'll let reviews and any angry comments come in to let me know if that's the case. This won't be the first or last apology I have to make on this show.
No, and thank you, everyone. We welcome about all races into our Patreon, where again you get nothing.
Even if I'm hesitant to play Pygow with you, out of respect. Yes, I apologize.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here, episode 24 of Handy at the Shandy. For Adam the Fraud and Boring Jack, I am Table Games James, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.